Shalom, ladies. Part two. I had to do that short about the rainbow first because I knew that was about to be just it right there. Whip my hand back and forth. I whip my fringes back and forth. Hey. Reclaim the rainbow, y'all's people. Love is love. And you can love your family and your friends and all of that without putting it in your flesh. Because that flesh is wicked. Anyway, I meant to, no. I actually wanted to encourage you all today and also share something else that I did not share in the videos. I did a few videos last week on Be Angry and Sin Not when I was talking about the health and wellness gems, and I had mentioned an office in Maryland. I had mentioned the nutritional response testing, and I did not actually drop the actual office. I wanted to share some more info with that. So my bad. Yolanda, she actually is taking over the office in Maryland, in Crofton. That's where Dr. Lowe was. He's still I think he's semi-retired. And this is the information. I just happened to stumble across it. Oh goodness, I think it's backwards. I just happened to stumble across it today, and I'm like, this is on purpose. I also need to send this to another family member that is actually suffering through some dis-ease and is looking to get questions answered that the traditional folks are not able to answer. In addition to, in mad respect to Dr. Sabi and his style, a lot of it crisscrosses and overlaps. So I had mentioned the biologic ionization, which is the chemistry that I actually did. And I also helped promote for the office and the nutritional health and wellness center in Crofton, the advanced chiropractic and center there. But this, I wanted to read it out straight from the source. Get better patient results with the nutritional response testing. Nutritional response testing is an exact, non-invasive system of analyzing the body in order to determine the underlying causes of ill health. When these are corrected through safe, natural, nutritional means, the body can repair itself in order to obtain and maintain more optimum health. So, this is actually a postcard that the practitioners get. So, learn what a single factor can affect 70% of patients. It's a 13-step procedure. I had talked about the stressors, identifying and pinpointing exact stressors on the body, finding out what that is. You'd be surprised, certain foods will actually trigger it, and you don't even know it. Might be causing inflammation in the body. And yeah, so I wanted to share it. I'm like, I came across this again for a reason. The second thing I wanted to encourage you all to not, as well as myself, and to not let anyone squash the light of the Hamashiach in you. Truth is a spirit, right? So there's spiritual attacks that take place. When spiritual attacks take place, and the more that gets exposed, even though someone may be projecting value and light and revelations, that shadow side is always sitting there on the side waiting for its turn. And the more you see through the smoke screen, the more the enemy can be used, or the Most High may use the enemy to help strengthen you. So there's a lot in the air. And so I shared some things in those videos, and I'm still reflecting on that, on myself first versus looking out at anybody else. And I hope that it doesn't feel good when you start to see things more and more clearly, when you pray for discernment and you get it. The will of Yah is to be thankful in all things. Love is love. And real love does not have conditions. Thankfully. except probably to follow his commandments. And when you break the rules, did not tell you, you don't do it no more, then there's a problem. But there's also sometimes it's situations where, unfortunately, man changes the rules on you. And you're like, okay, well, I was just doing this. You told me to do this. I'm doing, all right, I know to obey. I know to submit. I know what it means to submit to a real man. Those of us have thankfully been around them coming up. They're still out here. Then you're like, yeah, what's going on back here? So, oh man, I ask for prayer. I ask for people, the prayer for folks around all of us, and in addition to us. No. And the struggle is real. There's so much more to speak on, but I will share this for anybody who may be, anyone who may be experiencing some of the things that I shared in those videos. Be encouraged. I wanted to add another sister or female that is actually helping to educate folks on some of the things that we have been seeing on the Herb Stop. Her name is Kris Well, Kris Well. I'll put a link in the description. And she, along with a couple of other people, are really sharing some gems on the situations that I'm seeing. Stop. And you're not alone. And here's another vocabulary word to add to the arsenal. So you can, sometimes when you're growing through things or you're seeing things, you can't quite put your finger on there or put a name to it because you're like, damn, I'm kind of like going through this. Am I seeing this? Like, breadcrumbing. I think the other one I had learned through several months at a time. No, thank you. Was moving the goalposts. And now I'm going to add breadcrumbing, where no matter how many, positive things may be sent your way, or positive acts that may go your way, you feel behind it like, okay, the energy is not quite all the way there, like something is missing. I'm not going crazy, you're not going crazy, but certain things are happening. You're like, okay, why is this going down like this? Why is this going from a 0 to a 10? Why? Breadcrumbing. You might get showered with gifts, and then one venomous situation occurs that totally erases all of the positive, or I would say they look positive from the outside, but inside you're like, okay, there's an emptiness there. or lack of love there. There's something else going on under the surface. So, you get a little bit of what you might be looking for, a little bit of emotional validation, a little bit of appreciation might be shown, might be just words, or you, might have shared something on your heart that you wanted to take place, and that person sprinkles a little bit of it for you, only to turn around and, throw you under two buses. You know what I'm saying? And then you go, well, the empaths, we're always trying to look to the light of the Hamashiach in us. Well, they did do this, and this pretty well, and that was really nice. But then the breadcrumbing, you just kind of like give a person just enough to keep them doing what you want them to do, or just enough to get you to, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, comment below if those of you this is for. Comment below or text me or whatever. Yah is in all, through all, and above all. And every situation is an opportunity to grow and to see what the next step of evolvement should be within ourselves. So we can discern things from the outside but also not get into victim mode. Yeah, you have to acknowledge, like, yeah, that really felt really bad, or this, I really acknowledge I'm seeing some things, but at the end of the day, the Most High is going to strengthen. And that's what all brothers and sisters are supposed to do, bring out the light in each other. That's what is supposed to go down. We don't always end up that way. We in these forms of ours. And the flesh is weak, but the spirit is always willing. So I'm going to leave it at that. Till next time, create a great day. And I might put the yap in your paw, but usually it is for a purpose. Shalom.